So what is going on? Akatsuki here, and welcome to another reaction video. Now, before we start this reaction video, I want to give you guys a little context of the channel. But first, I'm going to tell you guys what we are watching. We're watching Could the 5 Kage beat the
Akatsuki, Swag Kage.
Okay. Go ahead and explain it first.
So pretty much this is going to be another Swag Kage versus battle, and it's the 5 Kage, and we didn't start it yet, so I'm not sure which 5 Kage he's using, but I'm pretty sure it's the 5 Kage from the 4th Great Ninja War. So Gaara, Mei, Tsunade, A, and Inoki, the current 5 Kage pretty much, and they're going to be going against the Akatsuki. And I don't know if they're including like Orochimaru when he was in the Akatsuki, and Toby in this. Oh, I forgot Toby's in this. So pretty much that's the layout. And before we get started in this video, we're gonna give our opinions of how we think this is gonna go. Now Charlie doesn't know much about Naruto, but I'm interested to hear his opinion and see how Swag Kage is supposed to. Because personally, I think the 5 Kage gets stomped here, guys. Like the 5 Kage are pretty powerful, but like when you got Toby, Pain, Itachi, Kisame, like, what are they really gonna do? I'm gonna put it like this: like, Kage Gaara fought Deidara and got crushed easily. Like he got murked. So that's one Kage down there.
All I really know is the 5 Kage. I don't really know the Akatsuki. I don't really know them, so I really just gotta side with the 5 Kage until I hear a little bit more of what.
Remember the Rinnegan video and the Mangekyo Sharingan video? Mm-hmm. The Akatsuki has 2 Mangekyo Sharingan users and a Rinnegan user.
Oh, okay. Well, that might change. That's definitely going to change things. So I'm definitely interested to see how that goes. But just since he's siding with the Akatsuki, I'll go with the 5 Kage. But another thing I wanted to tell you guys before we started this video, I wanted him to explain it just in case if anybody is interested in watching this reaction, then you can stay tuned. But my brother watched our reaction video and he said it got a lot of views one time, so he told me that we should start a reaction channel. So I wanted to tell you guys that we did in this reaction video that I upload right now. It is called ANC Reacts. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to find it. I'm definitely going to copy the link to the one video I have and paste it in this video. I can edit it once Husband uploads it from his phone. I can edit it from my phone. But let's get into this shit because I'm interested.
This one is only 10 minutes compared
to earlier on Twitter, somebody asked me what I thought about a fight between the 5 Kage and the Akatsuki. And at first I wasn't super keen on doing it, but this is something that a lot of people have asked me to make a video about, and the question got plenty of support on Twitter anyways. Now, the thing is, I already made a video about whether or not Itachi by himself could beat the 5 Kage, and when I said he would lose, I made a bunch of people who disagreed with me pretty mad. So if it's already this debatable whether or not just Itachi could beat the 5 Kage, then if you were to give him 7 or 8 more Kage level teammates, like, I think that trying to argue that the 5 Kage could win is an uphill battle for sure. Just for the sake of clarity, by the way, I'm talking about the 5 Kage from the War Arc, so just Tsunade, A, Gaara, Inoki, and Mei. As for who the Kage are fighting against, when talking about the Akatsuki as a team, a lot of people like to assume Orochimaru is part of it. And some people even like to slap Taka in there as well. So not just Sasuke, but Karin, Suigetsu, and Juko on top of him. And if you were to do this, if you were to give the Akatsuki all of these people in addition to the people you'd already expect them to have, then like the Kage would just be overwhelmed. I don't even know what you'd expect them to be able to even do. So those guys are off the table. It's kind of hard to even...
Another thing we didn't tell you guys, this is Swag Kage's most recent upload.
Yeah.
As he just got the
at
notification
2:13 p.m.
whipping people's asses on WWE.
I'm subscribed because this is my nigga.
Yeah, he's the best at this, guys, for real.
Get a sense of how strong Orochimaru would have been at this point, and on top of that, it may not be fair to give the Akatsuki Taka when most of the members of the group were dead by the time Sasuke joined.
The Akatsuki is bad enough. You can't give them the
Speaking of that, another conversation worth having is whether or not to allow both Obito and Sasori to be on the team at the same time, because Obito only started showing his face to most of the members of the organization after Sasori was killed by Sakura and Chio. But since he was always kind of behind the scenes, operating from the shadows, giving orders to Nagato and to Konan, I think it's fair to allow him to fight alongside the rest of the group here. So we can just assume that this is the Akatsuki as it was composed at the beginning of Shippuden. So everyone in the group, aside from, like, Zetsu, who probably won't even be fighting, and arguably Hidan, is Kage level. And the Akatsuki has the Kage outnumbered almost 2 to 1. There's also already been a precedent set for Kage losing to members of the Akatsuki. For example, we saw Deidara beat Gaara in the first arc of Shippuden, and even if you want to argue that Gaara's gotten stronger by the time of the war arc, Sasori beat somebody who is even more powerful than Gaara, the third Kazekage. And again, if you want to argue, well, maybe Gaara got so much more powerful by the time of the war arc that he could beat the third Kazekage. But the thing is, Sasori killed the guy without his most powerful tool. This was before he had his Iron Sand puppet, because he made the thing from the corpse of the third Kazekage. So he was significantly weaker when this fight took place. So as for Gaara, Sasori or Deidara, worst case scenario, both of them working together, should be able to take care of him. I don't think I have to convince anybody that Mei isn't much of a threat to anyone in the Akatsuki. Like, maybe she could beat Hidan, but pretty much anyone else could take care of her. So that just leaves Tsunade, A, and Onoki. A and Onoki.
Motherfucking A. No, it's only 5 seconds.
Onoki are pretty heavy hitters, and I don't want to downplay Tsunade. But there are a lot of pretty strong long-range fighters in the...
Now, them 15-second ads that be popping up while I'm recording my fucking videos, them be the ones I be hating. That's why I wish I had a computer for this reaction, because then I could turn on the ad block and never see a single ad. That'd be cool.
Akatsuki, and Tsunade is best at getting close to her opponent and just punching them to death. Katsuyu could help with this, I guess, but the only purpose she would really serve is acting as a diversion for one of Pain's summons. So she's gonna have to rely on the good old fisticuffs, and an approach like this doesn't seem like it'd be very effective against most of the Akatsuki. Konan can fly, Deidara can fly, Sasori could keep himself at a distance from Tsunade very easily, Kisame could do the same thing, Kakazu could do the same thing, and Obito specifically is a really hard counter to her because he can just phase through all of her attacks. So that just leaves A and Onoki. These are the 2 big boys of the 5 Kage. Onoki is definitely the stronger one here, but A isn't, like, weak or anything. He's got this crazy combination of speed, power, and durability. And of course, Onoki can speed him up and make his attacks hit harder with his boulder jutsu thing that can adjust people's weights. So A is definitely worth considering a potential problem here. Then Onoki, of course, can just like atomize people with particle style. But let's think critically here, right? To say that the Kage would win because Onoki could just turn everybody into dust would be kind of like saying that the Akatsuki would win because they could just trap everyone in Chibaku Tensei, or because Itachi could seal the Kage with the Totsuka blade. Well, particle style is definitely a big deal. It's not like the Akatsuki don't have any counters to it. Pain can absorb it, Kisame might be able to absorb it with his water shark bomb jutsu thing. Itachi might be able to block it with the Yata mirror, at least if Onoki shoots it as like a laser beam. And then Obito, of course, can just phase through it. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't work. If Onoki hits anybody with it, they should just die. But Pain's ability to absorb it is a really big deal here. I know only one of the paths can do it, but the Preta path is actually pretty fast. When Naruto fought Pain and was about to hit Tendo with something, Preta just kind of shows up out of nowhere, completely off panel. He was pretty far away before this happened, and jumps right in front of Naruto's incoming attack and absorbs it. Like a split-second reaction. And since all of the paths share a unified field of vision, they'll probably be able to see when any other members of the Akatsuki end up in danger. And as long
Cause Sage Mode is that shit.
as Onoki isn't trying to hit somebody in the air with particle style, then the Preta path should be able to show up in the nick of time and save them. Now, this isn't guaranteed to work every time. It's not like an infinite get-out-of-jail-free card or whatever. But it's still a pretty hard counter. And the other thing is that for Onoki to use particle style, he can't do his light and heavy boulder jutsu combo with A, so he'll be sacrificing some of A's speed and power for the opportunity to kill one of the Akatsuki. Now, to be fair to the Kage, these two are really powerful, and so dealing with them is going to take some of the more powerful members of the Akatsuki. Pain, Itachi, and Obito are definitely the group's strongest members, and I think that any one of these three could beat either A or Inoki in a one-on-one fight. If you give one of them to Obito, he won't really have any trouble. He can just phase through all of their attacks and suck one of them up into the Kamui dimension. Pain can Soul Steal or Chibaku Tensei, either one of them, but to be fair, Chibaku Tensei is a little bit risky to do because...
What the fuck even is this shit? Bro, yo, hold up.
Because it may also...
Since we've seen that ad, bro, why the fuck does YouTube doesn't allow videos that have provocative shit in it, but they can have ads of girls on Live Me twerking and dancing, young girls on Live Me and twerking and dancing, and other apps and shit like that, of girls, just apps where you're just supposed to meet people on video and chat with them. They just have girls on them dancing and shit like that and getting likes and shit. What the fuck, YouTube? Keep going.
End up trapping all of the Akatsuki inside, but the human path Soul Steal is still a viable option, and then of course Itachi could just stab one of them with the Totsuka blade. So it sounds like the Akatsuki have the advantage here, and I haven't really even given Kisame, Kakuzu, Konin, or Hidan anything to do. Just the team of Pain, Obito, Itachi, Sasura, and Deidara is more than equipped to take on the 5 Kage, and you could pretty easily make a case that you don't even need that many of them. As a matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and discuss that? Let's talk about a hypothetical Edo Akatsuki versus Kage situation. So, in this case, the Akatsuki wouldn't have Kisame, Konin, or Obito.
I know somebody got mad at me at one of the anime videos because apparently I wasn't paying... I know Aizen was paying attention. You weren't talking about him. I know somebody said that I wasn't paying attention much. I'm still paying attention to the video. I can definitely pay attention more now that I've seen more of his explanation of videos
on their team. But in exchange, they would get a much more powerful Nagato, a much more powerful Itachi with infinite chakra and no health problems. And then Kakuzu, Deidara, and Sasori would also all have infinite chakra, but unfortunately for Sasori, he was brought back without any of his puppets, so he probably wouldn't be much of a threat to the Kage. So the thing is, Edo Itachi and Edo Nagato are monsters. Nagato, by himself, had both B and KCM Naruto pinned down in like 5 seconds. He was ready to kill both of them and didn't have any trouble putting them into that position. Then, with a little bit of help from Sasuke, Itachi was able to take out Sage Kabuto, who is way stronger than any one of the 5 Kage. So honestly, just the two of them would probably be too much for the Kage to handle, like Infinite Susanoo and borderline full power Nagato with infinite chakra are both pretty ridiculous, and then on top of that, you put Kakuzu and Deidara both with infinite chakra on their team, and also Sasori without any of his puppets, but still...
He's talking about infinite chakra. How the fuck you get that shit?
It's the reanimation jutsu that the second Hokage made. So you pretty much can like seal the souls of people into bodies of the dead and control them. And in the war arc, when Obito and Madara declared war on the entire Shinobi world, and they made the Shinobi Alliance and shit, that's when Madara showed up with the 5 Kage ass and shit. Kabuto had all the Akatsuki members reanimated. And the reanimation jutsu, it weakens you, so it nerfs you, so like you're weaker than you were when you were alive, but it gives you an immortal body and infinite chakra. So that's why I feel like Itachi, who was sick and had stamina issues, and his disease damaged his chakra reserve, so he was super fucking OP, because even fucking diminished, he's whipping ass. Since he has an immortal body and infinite chakra, he can infinitely use all his hacks abilities,
all his powers.
And the 6 paths of pain, they're all they're distributed. The Renegade's abilities are distributed through all 6 of them. So if you take out one of them, you lose that ability. And reanimated is just Nagato in his prime when he has all the abilities himself. So with a one-body user, he can use it a lot crazier. That's why he was able to fuck up KCM Naruto and be like that.
Infinite chakra for any assistance that they might need. Yeah, there's not a whole lot that the Kage are going to be able to do against that. So I think my position is pretty clear by now. I won't keep talking about it anymore and make the video any longer than it needs to be. Sorry for not going into as much detail as I'm sure some of you hoped I would, but I've talked about both of these groups pretty extensively in some of my other videos, and I didn't want to repeat a whole bunch of stuff that plenty of you have already heard many times before. Thanks to the people who have been recommending this video to me. Without you guys, it wouldn't have happened. Thanks to everybody pushing me to make it on Twitter. And speaking of Twitter, if you have any ideas for future video topics, either leave them here in the comments or shoot me a message.
This is the end. So, that was the video, guys.
I definitely thought it was interesting as hell. Honestly. Like, am I thinking of this wrong? Because I'm honestly thinking, like, the third Kage, isn't he, like, one guy? The big guy who's really hard to kill. He's like really impossible in Naruto to kill. He's like that really tough, strong guy that everybody has a hard time killing.
The black dude?
That Naruto had to have hit himself. No, he's white.
Oh, the third Kage.
Kage.
Yeah, and he was black.
That's why I'm thinking of it wrong, guys. Okay, so yeah, I definitely thought that was cool. I thought it was a bit different because I thought I was gonna see only one guy. Because I thought it was Kage, not the 5 Kage. That's why I got it confused, because it was Kage and just Kage. So, but I definitely thought it was cool. But clearly, the 5 Kage got their ass whooped. So,
oh yeah.
I thought it was gonna be.
It was bad. It was bad. So, you guys know the drill.
Like if you enjoyed, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Join post notification squad.
And don't forget to leave us any suggestions for the next video. Peace.